up in Illinois, in Streator, Illinois, which was 100 miles south of Chicago. And I was raised by my grandparents, and their last name was Chismar, Chismar, and it was Mary and Andrew. So after they raised 12 of their own children, basically, then they took me on. And I stayed with my grandfather died when I was 9, and my grandmother, she lived to be 93. So she got to see a few of her, well, she got to see a lot of the great-grandchildren, because I was basically one of the younger ones of all the grandchildren. Was I about 15? I guess 15, and I only lived with them for about 2 years. I would go there, and I had, after school, I would have to go there and clean and, peel potatoes, things, get dinner basically started or something like that. But then I would walk back to my grandparents after school. After I got finished at my parents', then I'd go to my grandmother's house, because as I said, my grandfather died when I was 9. My grandmother sold her house to go live in Ottawa with my youngest aunt, and I left home when I was 17 to go to college, and then after that I was on my own. I lived with my cousin and his wife, and went to the University of Illinois, and I became a teacher, but I didn't teach full-time until my children were, the twins, I guess, were in first grade, and that's when I went to teach full-time. Other than that, I would sub.
Okay.
And when we lived in Texas and other places during the military years, I would just get different jobs in the office and do things like that, because you never knew how long you were going to be there. You could be there 9 months or whatever the case may be, or a year, and then it was gone. So when the twins went to school full-time in the first grade, that's when I started teaching full-time. Well, my mom and dad, my dad came from someplace in Ireland, and my grandparents on my mom's side, they came from a little village outside of Prague. Now my grandfather, they had said that he came here as a colonist, and yet my grandmother, they put the little village that she had come from. But when we were there in Prague, we didn't find out until the day before that they had changed the name, and so therefore we couldn't go there because we were leaving the next morning, and would have loved to have seen, but the communists changed the name when they took over. I spoke Czech, and I still remember a lot of words, but they had to teach me English when I went to grade school, because I would speak English, but it was, here and there, because being with my baba and zeva, when we were home, we spoke nothing but Slovak, Czechoslovakian, and then when everybody'd get together every Sunday, all the family would get together, and there was a big tribe of us, but they always came to my grandmother's for Sunday dinner, my grandparents. We would speak English, but yet it was, for me, I had to learn more when I went to grade school. The grade school I went to, it was, the books were, one side was Slovak and the other side was English in those days. And most of the Christmas hymns and things like that, they were all done in Slovak. You had a Slovak church, you had an Irish church, you had a German church, but I'm talking about the Catholic, churches. And so it was just completely different then, in my hometown.